Hey guys, in this video we are going to be looking at quadratic functions. So for the very first, for this particular video, we're going to be solving by factoring. So I have some functions, our quadratic functions by factoring. Okay, that was part one, and part two is next. Here for you, I'm going to be writing on this interactive whiteboard. So the very first function that I have for you is x squared plus 6x plus 8. Okay, so now we need to solve by factoring. So if we remember this particular number here, we need to figure out it multiplies to get positive 8, but also adds to get positive 6. So let's go ahead and start thinking about those factors of 8. So 1 times 8, 2 times 4, and then 4 times 2. We're back at the beginning again. So I do know that if I set up my two parentheses, everything is positive again because I see a positive 8 and a positive 6. So I'm going to put in those plus signs, and I need an x and an x. And which numbers do I multiply to get positive 8, but I add to also get positive 6? And those numbers are going to be 2 and 4. So 2 and 4, okay? And with our equations, they're now set equal to 0. So we have x plus 2 is equal to 0, so we can solve for x. X plus 4 is equal to 0, so we can solve for x. Those then just become a simple one-step problem. If you would like to do the math, you can. Or if you can see that it's just going to be the opposite. So subtract 4 on both sides. X is then equal to negative 4. A lot of you have already seen these connections as you graph your quadratic function into Desmos.com. You have realized that the zeros that are on the graph in Desmos.com are just the opposite of what is factored into the parentheses. So you guys have been awesome and really already on the right track, but today we're just finalizing it and going ahead and solving it algebraically as well. Okay, I have another one for you here. We are going to be looking at x squared minus 7x plus 6. Okay, now this one's unique because we need a multiply to get a positive 6, so it's got to multiply to get positive 6, but then it needs to add to get a negative 7. Okay, so let's go ahead and think of those multiplications that we can do. So 2 times 6, 2 times 3, 1 times 6, 2 times 3, and now we are back at the beginning again. So which one of those that whenever I add them, am I going to get a negative 7? So another thing also to look at here too is that it has to be a positive 6. And the only way that I can have positive is if I multiply two numbers that are positive or multiply two numbers that are negative. So in that case, both of these are going to have a negative sign. And if I add 2 and that equals 5. If I add 1 and 6, I'm going to get 7. So you can always check your work, by the way, by doing FOIL or using an area model, but you would end up getting negative 1x and negative 6x there in the middle, which does in fact combine to negative 7x. And then you would get your x squared going on there, and then the last terms, negative 6 times a positive 6. Negative 6 times a negative 6 gives us negative 1 times a negative 6 gives us a positive 6, which is what we had from the very, very beginning. So let me go erase all of that section there for us. And then with that being said, don't forget today we are taking it a step further and we are solving them. Okay, so now that you have the factors all set up and the parentheses all set up there, we are going to be factoring those or solving for them. So we have x minus 1, set that equal to 0 because we're finding our zeros. X minus 6, set that equal to 0, going ahead and solving that. Again, if you need to solve it, you can, or you can just realize that it's the opposite. X is equal to 6. Okay, so your two zeros that are on the graph, whenever you put it in Desmos, if you need to, are going to be positive 1, positive 6, and then we can see algebraically here that x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 6. Okay, and we have a couple more to go through. So this one, we are going to have x squared plus 2x minus 24. Okay, now with this one, okay, it looks a little different because it's got to multiply to get a negative number, but we got to add to get a positive number. Okay, So that means that in order to multiply to get a negative number, one of them has to be negative and the other one has to be positive. So let's go ahead and think of those numbers that multiply together to give us 24. That's the one I always used to miss on my multiplication times table test there in elementary school, but 3 times 8, we have 4 and 6, 2 times 12, and 1 times 24. Now, which one of those that if I add or have a difference of 6, because one of them has to be positive and the other one has to be negative, but we do for sure know that there's going to be x's in there. And the one that has a difference of 2 right here is 4 and 6. So let's go ahead and place 4 and 6 in. And then here it kind of becomes, again, guess and check of like, which one gets the negative, which one gets the positive sign. So we have positive 2 here. Okay, so that means that my biggest number down here is going to end up needing that positive sign. And then don't forget, you can always check. So you would get negative 4x whenever you multiply those together, positive 6x, which does in fact give you a positive 2. So before you go down to solving for those, you can always do some guess and check work there, just to make sure that you have the right signs in the right places before you go into solving. That's going to be key to getting the right answers there today. Okay, so now we are ready to solve, and we set them equal to 0. So x minus 4 is equal to 0, and x plus 6 is equal to 0. We go and take care of those opposites. Opposite of subtracting is adding, so x is equal to positive 4. Opposite of adding is subtracting, so x is equal to negative 6. Those are our two solutions for this particular problem. Oops, I want it back in simple. Okay. Now we have another one for you, of course. X squared minus 2x minus 15. Okay, so again, we're going to factor those out here before we solve them. We have an x, and then I need to multiply to get a negative number, and then add to get that positive 2x, okay? Or negative 2x, I'm sorry. So to multiply, we have 1 times 15, 3 times 5. Okay, now 3 and 5 does have a difference of 2, so I'm going to go and plug in 3 and 5, and now we need to figure out which one is which. Well, the biggest number, or my number in here, has a negative sign, so my biggest number inside of my factors need to have the negative. You could always double check. Plus 3x, negative 5x will in fact give you that negative 2x there. So we're good to go ahead and go and start solving. Okay, so we have x plus 3 is equal to 0. X minus 5 is equal to 0. If you need to solve those, you can. We're just going to do the inverse or opposite operation. X is equal to negative 3. Opposite of subtracting is adding. X is equal to positive 5. Bam, we are done with that particular problem. Okay, now bear with me. The next ones are just going to get a little bit more difficult. Okay, so we have 2x squared plus 10 plus 12. Okay, so this is what? Okay, so we have factors of 12, and then we also notice that we have an x squared in there as well. So we can do 1 times 12, 2 times 6, or 3 times 4. Okay, now we also have 1 times 2 over here that we can be using. So it's not too terrible over here because there's not another set that is going to give us or another factors of 2. Okay, now the reason why I have to have a 1x and a 2x this time is because whenever I multiply those, I now have coefficients, okay? So let me take that out. Now we need to either, and again, this is going to be guessing and checking, okay? We're either going to plug in a 1 or a 2 Okay, so if I put in a 12 here, okay, and they're all positive, doing some guessing and checking, 1 times 2x is 2x squared, but 1 times 12 is 12x. In the middle here, we have 2x, and then we have 12. Okay, so this middle section right here did not give us 10x. Okay, so that's not going to work. Okay, so now let's go back to the drawing board here. We are going to put in our adding signs. Okay, so that didn't work. So now we are going to try to see if 2 works and if 6 works. Okay, so we have 2x squared, and then we have first outer 6x. I think we're onto it. 4x. 2 times 6 is 12. Okay, and then when I combine like terms, I get 2x squared plus 10x plus 12. Okay, so if you're thinking, Miss Sam's, that was a lot, I don't want to keep guessing and checking, there is a simpler way that's easing you into what we're going to end up doing in part 2 of today's lesson, but again, easing you into that. So I'm going to still use the same equation that I just did, 2x squared plus 10x plus 12. Okay, so something that I noticed is 2 can be factored out, or 2 is common in each one of those. So if I take out a 2, okay, or divide out a 2, so I'm undoing my distributive property, which goes all the way back to a 7th grade scale. So if I do 2x squared divided by 2, I'm left with just 2x. If I do 10 divided by 2, I have 5x. If I do 12 divided by 2, I'm left with 6. Okay, and so now from here, I'm going to factor this out. So factors of 6, 1 and 6, 2 and 3. The 2 and the 3 will add together to get that 5x, and so now I can solve, set it equal to 0, x is equal to -2, and x is equal to -3. Okay, so if you like guessing and checking, more than happy to use that method. But if you want to factor out what is common in there, you can do that as well. And I have one more of these just so we sure that you are good to go before you start your practice assignment today. And again, on your practice assignment, your independent practice, there is only 2 problems that look like this there towards the end, I think. So on this, I noticed that here is a 3, and I can divide out a 3 in each of these. Okay, so if I divide out my 3, I am left with 3 divided by 3 is 1, so we're left with 1x squared. I'm going to not put the 1x because it's understood to be there. 15 divided by 3 is 5. 18 divided by 3, and don't forget that negative sign there, is 6. Okay, so now I have my factors of 6. Okay, now this is positive. This here is negative. Okay, so that means that both of them, in order for it to add to be negative, I have to have negative signs involved, but in order to multiply to get positive, that means both of them are going to have to be negative. So we have an x and an x there in my factors. We're going to use that 2 and the 3. Both of them are negatives because whenever we multiply, we get positive 6. But watch, whenever we add, we are going to get -5. So I'm going to set these equal to 0, which means that this is x is equal to a positive 2. Set this one equal to 0, and when I solve, x is equal to a positive 3. Okay, so I know that there was a lot in this particular video, but the key thing to remember today is that we are solving these. So once you get your set here in your factors, let's just say it was x plus 7 and x minus 4. The last and final step today is setting those equal to 0 and solving for your x, and that is going to be your solution for part 1 of your independent practice, because in this one we were